Brad Pitt has the craziest parties. This is Unimportant.
Guaranteed to not change your life. This is the Unimportant Podcast.
Welcome to the Unimportant Podcast. My name's Anthony. That is Joe Bob. I guess Brad Pitt's what we're talking about today?
Brad Pitt, world's sexiest man, several years, I don't know, several years running, but at a time was the sexiest man alive. Yeah, did you know that?
I was probably too young to be considered at that point.
Oh, yeah, you would have beat him out otherwise. So Brad Pitt of,
How old is he now? Isn't he like 65 now?
No, he's like 55 or like 52 or 53.
He still looks really good.
Oh, yeah. He's got a new movie coming out. We usually would make people pay for advertisements, but I guess we could talk about his new movie.
Oh, yeah. Brad Pitt is definitely paying us for this.
So Brad Pitt, and do you know who David Fincher is? No. David Fincher was the director of Fight Club.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, Brad Pitt, David Fincher.
Can we talk about that?
What?
Can we talk about that?
Fight Club?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Anyways, that joke is probably overdone.
Okay. So Brad Pitt and David Fincher were working on, obviously, Fight Club together. Mm-hmm. They decided in 1999 to throw a New Year's party. Nothing crazy yet.
Going 1998 to 1999 or 99 to...
No, and that's what makes it a little bit interesting. 1999 into 2000,
which was the Y2K.
Which is
deal.
Y2K. That's a big problem. Y2K...
I mean, it wasn't a problem at all, but...
It wasn't a problem at all, but everybody was worried about the fact that computers didn't have... timestamp systems, so all of the systems and electrical grids and all the stuff that was computer powered was going to go down and it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
And so
turned out fine.
It turned out fine. Having said that, so Y2K in the back of people's heads, right? Brad Pitt and his friend David Fincher and a lot of their friends rent a mansion down in Mexico, kind of far away from everything in the Puerto Vallarta area. And they're like, we're going to have an awesome New Year's party, which sounds great, right? I can't imagine a place that I would rather be than partying with Brad Pitt in Mexico.
That sounds right up your
on
alley.
New Year's. Yeah, that's so. Brad Pitt, if you're out there and you want to invite me to one of your parties, go ahead and send on the invitation. So they're having a party, just a normal party, right? Midnight strikes. Okay, everybody's thinking Y2K.
Yeah,
midnight strikes. The lights cut out, complete pitch black. People start, kind of
freaking
wondering.
out.
Well, not freaking out, just going like, oh, man, so Y2K was a thing. Because I can't imagine movie stars really cared all that much. Like, your finance people and your tech people were more the ones that are actually concerned. Everybody else is kind of like, yeah, well, this is cool.
Yeah.
So the lights go out. A couple minutes later, there's a flashbang. And all of a sudden, 10 to 15 armed Mexican military police storm into the door. Now, all of a sudden, things go from Y2K
at midnight on what?
At midnight, they with AK-47s, flashbang grenades, and people just lose their mind.
I would think so.
I would absolutely go nuts because you're also not to mention you're in a foreign country. So like these people aren't speaking the language that you probably speak. Yeah. They're speaking Spanish. I would be scared out of my mind. And knowing the Mexican government, I would, not entirely be sure I was going to get a fair trial given that, I'm not a citizen of that country. They storm in the building. People are going nuts. One of the friends actually got in. The reason why they were there, Brad Pitt's friends, Mark Irvet, I think, was arrested on drug charges. So at midnight on New Year's Eve, the Mexican government comes storming in full SWAT team mode, arrests this guy on drug charges, and now this guy's fiance is there. Brad Pitt describes her as just being a complete mess. Everybody's crying.
I would think so.
Brad and a couple of his friends pleaded with the cops and even engaged with them physically, tugging on their friend as he's being pulled away. So now his friend is struggling. There's handcuffs on. They have machine guns pointed at them.
Can I just stop? This whole thing sounds like a Brad Pitt movie.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Brad Pitt at the craziest
I think I've
parties.
seen this before.
So people are screaming. They're physically dragging this guy off into a SWAT vehicle. They shut the door. Nobody knows if they're going to see this guy again, and they drive off into the night. And on earth? And then get that. After that, they start. Oh, we got to call somebody. They cut all of the phone lines, all the power. There's nothing. There's no possible thing that they can do here, right?
So it's a prank. This is obviously This is too
good.
good.
They paid the Mexican government to play this prank on their friends. This is not like they didn't bring actors, they literally bribed the government law enforcement officials to storm the party and arrest a friend on drug charges whose fiance was there. What?
To be fair, if I had millions of dollars to spare, this is exactly what I would do with it.
Absolutely what I would do with it.
What I would do
but
with
just think of the complexity of a prank like this.
This is serious planning.
Oh, 100%.
And like, it's New Year's Eve. Like, all these guys want to be home with their families. Like, you're gonna have to pay them a lot. You're gonna have to.
Think about this. Yeah, you're exactly right. Right? These guys were just they're actual policemen. So, we had a situation where there was a planned in college when we lived in a big house. There was a planned scary break-in type of thing. But after a couple minutes, you knew that this was friends and masks, and I was hilarious. The actual military storms your house in SWAT style and takes one of your friends away on drug charges. And then, can you imagine this afterward, right? This guy's fiance and a lot of the other people are just bawling their eyes out.
Oh, yeah.
And, 15 minutes after everything is over, Brad Pitt turns on the lights, smiles, and goes, gotcha. I don't think many people would go, oh, Brad, you're
pissed
silly
at that
dog.
Point. You're pissed at that point.
You what? You planned this entire thing as a practical joke?
That's great. So he planned it.
Him and David Fincher planned the entire thing.
Oh my God.
Which, almost unquestionably, if there's a better prank out there,
we want to hear about it.
Send it along. Unimportantpodcast.com. hello@unimportantpodcast.com is the email address. Send it to us. But for now, Brad Pitt is the reigning champion of pranks, and this is Unimportant.
Subscribe to the Unimportant Podcast if you want to know everything you need to know about nothing you need